Okay, there's an earlier question someone had asked that I wanted to include right now, and that was clarifying how the J-stroke is supposed to work. I'm going to give you a couple angles on it after I explain the concept. And I have my wonderful volunteer, my son Jube, here to help me show you guys how it works. So, the J-stroke concept is built upon using a feint and a gain. Got it? Okay, so on guard. Actually, hold on. Let me show them something real quick, and then we'll use you. So remember, a feint is when everything looks like an attack, but it's not, right? So I'm in my on guard position, and I lunge, right? Boom, boom, solid lunge. Parry, recover, because we're building good habits, right? But a feint is when everything looks legit, but I don't go. I don't commit to my attack. That gives me the option to do something else instead, assuming I can provoke a reaction from my opponent. Now the trick to having a effective feint is you have to be able to sell that this looks exactly like your attack. You change nothing, you make it look very committed. It has to be sold to your opponent that you're going to try to hit them, so they'll react. So now I'll use Jube as my example, and we're just going to go over the feint, and then I'll show you how the J-stroke works, so we'll have it all together. Now this can be done from various angles, and again, it's a concept, not a move, right? So if you have to adapt this, you totally can. So, go on guard, my son. Bring your feet close together because we're in a limited spot and we have to stay on camera. So just put your heels together. Same on guard footwork, right leg in front, yeah, but heels together. And bring your sword up like we're fighting. Now obviously we're compromised. We have a range issue, we have distance issues, but practicing this move and showing you how it works can still be done. I'll show you how right now. On guard. Now if I lunge to hit my son's center mass, he's going to parry his center mass, right? Take a low guard. He can use that same parry to guard his center even in a low guard. Bring the tip up and come across to 4. No, other way. You're doing turtle 6, which is another good one. There you go. Again, high guard, parry 4, low guard, same parry. Ready? So he can use that parry to guard his center line. Now, if I discover my opponent has a habit of doing this, right? If I can build a pattern or recognize one within my opponent, I can take advantage of that. This is the sword theory we're always working on, right? So, what I want to do is figure out if I can establish a pattern for my opponent. If I can make him do it, even better. If he just tends to do it on his own, that works too. So where he will come through that parry 4 regardless of what guard he's in, right? If I come in for that center strike, he gets that parry 4. Knowing where he's going to be before he gets there allows me to change my move. Got it? Weak part of the blade, strong part of the blade, right? I don't want to get in a fight with him down here. I want to get a fight with him closer up to here. So I'm going to do a what looks like a lunge and then transform it into a gain. And I'll show you this angle and then we'll change angles so you can see it at multiple angles, okay? On guard. So again, same move. I'm coming up, he parry 4s, boom, on guard. I'm coming up, he parry 4s, boom. Now when I come up, instead of committing to a lunge, I'm going to go into my J-stroke. And again, J-stroke, because watch the shape of the J. Up, down. It's an upside down J, right? Down, over. Different ways you can use this move. That's just why it's named that. On guard. So again, if my opponent's in a high guard, I'm not going to do a low J. I have to do a high one, right? So I'm going to come up while when he begins to go to that 4 to stop my parry, I transfer it over into that bind. Got it? Into this gain. On guard. So again, I lunge, he parries 4s. Bam. He's got that habit down, and my lunge is fast. If he doesn't get it, he'll get hit. He knows that. So my next one looks like a lunge, but isn't. It's a gain. I force my opponent's blade over. Now notice, I come in and then transition to get him on the weak part of his blade. If I get in a fight down here, I will lose this. Okay, his far's still going to go over. I'm going to end up in a weird position. He will be in a dominant position, and I will be in a oh crap position, right? These are important. Final step on J-stroke, just so we're clear. Now, again, limited room, so I'm going to explain it more than we can show it necessarily. On guard. Again, I come in for that straight attack. Boom. I come in. gains blade over. Most people at this point, what they do, their instinct when this happens is they run away. The second he steps back is when I follow. When your body is moving away, it cannot also move forward, right? So the general instinct when people get got is they step back, and this arm even normally comes with it. While they're moving backward, I follow their momentum, and you tend to be very safe performing that maneuver. But you do have to find that through practice when is safe to go, when they're actually stepping back, right? Okay. It's a raw concept of the J-stroke. I'm going to show you a couple more angles. Jebs, come over here. I think you're still in. Take a step like right there next to Rudolph. I know Rudolph's in this screen. Okay, same move, on guard. Compromised footwork because of our limited environment, right? Again, I make that center lunge. He gets that good parry. Now I make that center lunge and accompany, but change it into, but then it becomes a feint, which is my J-stroke, right? So again, on guard, I come up, forcing my opponent's blade out, waiting for him to retreat, following in. Got it? Now I'm leaving my off arm out so you can see the sword, but you can definitely incorporate the off arm with this, on guard. When I begin my J-stroke, right? Coming up for that feint to the gain over, putting my hand ready. Now when I begin that lunge, my arm, if it's really close, if they've ended up here, you can actually constrain the blade, grab whatever is legal in your area. But without even using that mechanic, when he steps back, I can just put my arm in the way as I return fire, right? Over here, Jebs. We get the last two angles. On guard. Okay, I gotta get back in your corner now. Ready? Okay, same concept. If I make that solid lunge, boom, straight lunge, he gets it, right? I make that same concept again, but now I'm turning into my J-stroke, so I've already built this habit. When I come up, boom, forcing him over, he retreats. I follow. Right there, Jebs? Oh, sorry, kid.
No, it's like this upper arm feeling.
Actually, we did arms, man. You're still feeling it. Stand there by the, yeah. Okay, ready? Last one, see if this angle's good for you. Again, building that good habit where when I lunge, he gets that move, right? I lunge, he gets that move. Now when I lunge, I'm going to turn it into a feint, which is my J-stroke. So coming in, forcing my opponent's blade out. When my opponent moves, following him in. Got it? Okay. That's the concept of a J-stroke. Work on that. And remember, J-stroke is a maneuver built upon a good feint. So work on getting that good feint first. Have whoever you can practice with, or even look in a mirror yourself, and do a couple good lunges. Make sure you see what that lunge looks like. What does that lunge look like? Now, do your lunge, but don't finish, right? Make everything happen. Look at that. My body starts that commitment. I am shifting my balance to look like I'm lunging, right? But I don't commit yet. I don't put my tip in the danger spot yet, because if I do, my opponent is as likely to pick it up, and then the move's going to be thwarted, and we're in a whole new game, and who knows if you survive that, right? So you got to make sure you get that good feint going on. Bam! Looks like you're going to attack. Okay? Once you get that good feint down, you can turn that feint into that J-stroke, forcing your opponent's blade out of line. Oh, last one. Jubei, go right there. So this J-stroke works on many fronts, like I said. So I'm going to show you one more conceptual thought about it. Take a low guard. Circle 6 parry. So when I come in, circle up to your 6. Boom, just like that, right? Circle 6 parry. Notice the path his blade travels. When I lunge, his blade travels this path guarding his center line, like a good swordsman would, right? Knowing this ahead of time. If I can build this pattern or recognize that my opponent's going to go through this maneuver, I can take advantage of it. So remember, that J-stroke, right? I do a J like that. Now watch this one. On guard, Jebs. Tip high. Oh, low guard, sorry. And when I lunge, you circle 6 parry. Perfect, right? Now I've got that habit on guard. Ready? I lunge. Boom. Again. It's all right. Go. Yeah. And the more worried he is about it, the more legit he's going to try to get it. On guard. And we've got this good habit down. He's trying to get that parry. And then I come in with the J stroke. Watch. On guard. I make that high attack J. See how my J now goes this way. My J goes sideways, so I can get in that good line. You can move this J stroke to match your opponent's guard, whatever angle he is or she is traveling through, right? It doesn't matter. The concept of forcing them to go through their own motion and being mid-path before they finish is what J stroke is built upon, right? Using a feint to provoke a movement that ends up with them traveling through a line you already know they're going to travel through. All right, so work on those feints. Work on getting through their line of travel and see if you can get your J stroke mastered. And don't forget to practice it in the form we talked about. Thank you, Jubei, everyone. Thank you, Jubei.
Hell yeah. Hero of all time.